Hello, I'm Andrea Sutcliffe, the Chief Executive and Registrar of the Nursing and Midwifery Council. This is the third in a series of webinars for students, and if you've not seen the first two, you can catch up on our website. That's at nmc.org.uk. As your independent regulator, our vision is safe, effective and kind nursing and midwifery practice that improves everyone's health and well-being. And our purpose is to promote and uphold high professional standards in nursing and midwifery. In this webinar, my NMC colleagues are going to talk you through what you need to know as you approach the end of your education and how to prepare for joining the register. I'm really looking forward to welcoming you onto the register soon. To tell you more about what will happen when that time comes, let me pass over to Adina.
Thanks, Andrea. I'm Adina Ojefo and I work in the registration team, and I'm going to talk a little about what happens when you finish your education programme. One question we often hear is, how do I get onto the register? Well, when you finish your programme, your university or college will confirm that you've met our standards of proficiency. They'll upload your details to us and confirm you have the skills, knowledge and good health and character needed to practice safely. You'll receive an invitation to set up your NMC online account and pay your fee. Once you've done that, within 2 to 10 working days, you should be on our register and you'll have your personal identification number, otherwise known as your PIN, along with an email confirming all of this. At this point, you can download your statement of entry and potential employers will be able to check online that you're registered. That's it. All your hard work will have paid off and you'll officially be a registered nurse, midwife or nursing associate. But we know moving from being a student to a registered professional can feel a bit daunting as well. If you haven't already, it's worth looking up something called Preceptorship. To explain what this is, I'm going to hand over to Mark.
Thanks, Adina. Hi. My name is Mark Brooke and I work in the Employer Link Service. That's the team that liaises with employers of nursing and midwifery professionals. As Adina says, moving from a student to a registered professional can feel daunting, but it doesn't have to be. Preceptorship is a programme led by employers that the NMC actively encourages and has guidance to support. It helps newly qualified professionals integrate into their new team and place of work. It's designed to help you transition what you've learnt into everyday practice, including how to apply the code in your day-to-day work. Preceptorship can help you feel more confident, valued, and give you a greater sense of professional team identity. That means you'll be able to deliver the best possible care to people using health and care services. Our principles of preceptorship support employers to achieve consistently high quality and effective preceptorship for everyone. Not all employers offer preceptorship, but when you secure a job, speak to your employer to find out if they offer a program. Whether or not your employer has a preceptorship scheme, they have a duty of care to you. You can only give your best to people that you care for if you yourself are at your best. That means your employer has to support you to look after your physical and mental well-being, so that you're able to deliver care to others. So when your job starts, make sure you know what they have in place to support you.
My name is Wendy Fowler and I'm a nursing education advisor at the NMC, and I've been a nurse for nearly 40 years. You will have learnt a lot as a nursing or midwifery student, but learning doesn't stop the day you join the register. Depending on your age, you might, like me, have a career that lasts 40 years or more. Think how different nursing and midwifery are now from 40 years ago. You'll need to make sure you keep your knowledge and skills up to date as technology, ways of working and health and care services change. We require professionals to revalidate every 3 years. Revalidation is the opportunity to reflect on your practice and achievements throughout each 3-year period. This is part of the lifelong learning that we all do as registered nurses, midwives and nursing associates. It's about promoting good practice and ensuring everyone on our register maintains excellent standards of practice throughout their careers. What do you need to do when you revalidate? You need to show that you've completed all the requirements listed on the screen, which includes completing a certain number of practice hours and continual professional development. It also includes gathering practice-related feedback from people who use health and social care services and their families and carers. This is an important part of revalidation. It supports you to have learnt from the experience of those in your care and feedback from colleagues or others you've met at work. We also encourage you to think about our standards of proficiency as you complete your revalidation to make sure your practice reflects the most up-to-date standards. This is where clinical supervision might come in, both in terms of having professional conversations about your own practice or sharing knowledge and giving feedback to students, newly qualified professionals or others. All of this can seem daunting, but it doesn't need to be. We have a lot of guidance available and we'll send you reminders nearer the time. Although you won't need to revalidate until you have been on the register for 3 years, it's worth understanding revalidation now and approaching it as an ongoing process. We'll share a link to more information at the end of this webinar. In previous webinars, we've explained the duty of candour and how, as a student, you should be honest and open. This is equally as important when you join the register. The professional duty of candour states you must tell the person, or where appropriate their advocate, carer or family, when something has gone wrong. Apologise to the person, or when appropriate their advocate, carer or family. Offer an appropriate remedy or support to put matters right if this is possible. Explain fully to the person, or where appropriate their advocate, carer or family, the short and long-term effects of what has happened. If you believe a colleague or anyone else may be putting someone in your care or the public at risk, you should report your concerns straight away to the appropriate person. You should encourage each other to be open and honest and not stop someone from raising concerns. This helps to grow a learning culture with employers and health and care services as a whole. It's also important that you treat everyone you care for and work with respect. To tell you more about that, I'm going to hand over to Emma in our Equality, Diversity and Inclusion team.
I'm Emma Lawrence from the NMC's Equality, Diversity and Inclusion team. If you watched the first webinar in this series, you'll have heard from me then. My role is to support the NMC to play its part in promoting equality and diversity and tackling discrimination and inequalities in health and social care. By now, I know you'll be very familiar with the code. Alongside our standards, it clearly sets out that we expect professionals on our register and students to practice in a way which is respectful, recognises diversity and upholds equality. That means treating people fairly, considering cultural sensitivities and challenging discriminatory attitudes. Speaking up when you experience or witness discriminatory behaviour isn't always easy, but it's so important to seek support from your tutor, manager or leaders. Our Caring with Confidence animation explains how the code supports you to do this.
Let's talk about being inclusive and challenging discrimination. We are all different. We have diverse gender identities, ethnicities, sexual orientations, religions and beliefs, ages, disabilities, caring responsibilities, nationalities, and socio-economic backgrounds. Sometimes people don't recognise or respect these differences. It can make you feel discriminated against or isolated. This can impact on your enjoyment of work and life, on the ability to do your job well, and sometimes on your physical or mental health. But everyone has the right to dignity and respect, and to feel included. That's why it's important to speak up against discrimination. You can't be responsible for challenging discriminatory behaviour on your own, but you do have an important part to play. You might know that a colleague is being discriminated against. It's important that you can recognise when this is happening and feel confident enough to intervene. But what if it's your own diversity that's not being respected? First, you have the right to ask your managers and leaders for help and support. Second, you have the right to challenge people directly there and then. Colleagues might not appreciate how their actions affect your dignity or why, so talk to them about how their behaviour makes you feel. And what if you feel somebody you're caring for is discriminating against you? They might be unkind about your diversity or ask to be cared for by someone of a different gender, religion, or colour. Remember that people who need care are sometimes stressed and confused, or their illness may be affecting their behaviour. And your professional code says you must take reasonable steps to meet people's language and communication needs. But it's still okay for you to let them know how they make you feel and why it's unacceptable. Be as clear as you can, explaining how and why you want them to change their behaviour towards you. Keep a record of these interactions with people in your care. And again, don't be afraid to ask for support. The code confirms that professionalism means treating people fairly and without discrimination. So be confident about challenging discrimination wherever you see it.
I hope that animation was helpful. We firmly believe in the benefits of having a diverse register of professionals with different backgrounds and experiences, reflecting the diversity of the people accessing care in the UK. As the future of the profession, you can help create a more inclusive culture in health and social care, where discrimination is not tolerated in any form, and all students, professionals, and people receiving care have the best possible experiences and outcomes. You can find more detailed information on our own commitments and work in our EDI plan. There's a link on the screen now. I'm going to hand back to Andrea now.
Thanks, Emma. I hope this webinar has been useful in preparing you for what to expect when you join the register. This is the third of the 3 webinars. Hopefully you've seen the first 2 already. They're all available on our website. The last thing to say is once you join the register, please continue to keep in touch with us. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook and YouTube, if you don't already. We regularly share helpful guidance and updates about our work and what it means for the nurses, midwives and nursing associates like you that are on our register. As the pandemic demonstrated, things can change in fast and unexpected ways, so following us on social media is one of the best ways to get information from us quickly. Also, if you haven't already, please sign up to our newsletter for nursing and midwifery professionals. It's different to our student newsletter, and it will mean you'll continue to get updates about nursing and midwifery and ways the NMC can support you as you progress your career. For now, here are some helpful links, and good luck with the rest of your course. I look forward to welcoming you to the register soon.